Morning guys, hope you had a good week. It's just another video, just following up from last week's weekly video where I just went through some of the pairs and just kind of gave you my take on what's going to happen and where to look forward to possibly enter and buy and sell. So yeah, so this is just a recap video and I'll just go through some of the pairs and see how we're going with that. And yeah, so I'll leave the Aussie dollar. I want to talk about the Aussie dollar, but I'll leave that till last. I just want to go through just the other pairs really quickly and just show you what's been happening. So we'll start with the EURUSD. A lot of action happened. We had the ECB interest rate decision. I believe they kept, I can't remember what the decision was. I believe they kept it on hold, I can't remember. But there was a big reaction. There was a huge reaction. I think it was about, this is a 4-cent move. This is a big move. So if you happen to get in there at the time, because what everyone was betting on the euro to keep going down, mainly because they were expecting more stimulus, more easing. So that would have weakened the euro. But instead they surprised the market, and then there was this big reversal. So I had a couple of positions in to go up, but I actually got out a lot sooner. I didn't think it would actually go up this much. Now, you probably remember from the last video, I did say that when it was around here, I think, that I said that, you know, if we do manage to go back up, right, then I'd really like to see this area get tested, right? We've got this nice trend line here. We hit the break of structure, right? So price broke through structure and has gone back down. What we're looking for now, so this is, we don't see, the safest way to enter this trade, if you want to short the market, is you don't sell as soon as it breaks the structure, because you just don't know what's going to happen. You want to see evidence that it's going to continue down, right? And the best way to get evidence of that is to let price action, you know, go back and retest it. If it retests and breaks through and goes back up, then you know that was just a false breakout. Okay, this is the real way, is to see the test, see it test it again, and then go back down. Then you've got a solid case for it. Okay. Now, I guess you could say that this was kind of like a test. Yeah, but you know, that's considering this is a major break of structure, a major break of it. I wouldn't look at that small kind of retest to say that this is probably going to look like more of a retest to me. But we'll have to see. So what I'm waiting for is for price action to go back up to around this level here, and then reverse back down. Right now, it could go back up. I don't know. It just depends on. That's how I'm looking at the moment, but I don't know. I could be completely wrong. So the next question really is, how do you identify exactly where it's going to go? Because this we're talking about a daily chart, right? So there's a few ways, and I've shown you a few ways before. You can use Fibonacci's. You can go to lower time frames, look for some evidence. But let's look at some Fibonacci's. All right. So if we go, you use a Fibonacci retracement, and we go, say, let's go from the swing high to the swing low. You get, so currently it's right at the 38%. So price has gone back down, come back up, retested the 38% ratio level, and then it's kind of dropped off a bit. Okay, so that's what we kind of expect. So the next level really is we'd like to see the 50% and the 61% get tested. This is where it gets a bit tricky, because this is all time-based as well. So I'm expecting, I'd like to see it hit this level here, which is the 111 area. Hold on, let me just make this a bit bigger. Okay, so 111 area. We can also just do a Fibonacci extension, say from this level, to see what ratio levels we get there. And if we go from there, we get the 61%, which is a key fib level. We could see that kind of go there. So we could see it go to about 111.271, and then reverse. Or we could see it go maybe a little bit more up than that. We don't know yet for sure. But you can also use the Fibonacci extensions to see what we get. Extensions are used to you know, help identify targets. When you use that, we get the 127, so we get some confluence around this level here. Okay, so we know that this is potentially a good area to look for a sell or short position. Maybe even here we've got some confluence at the 78 and the 161. so it's good. So what you're trying to do, you don't know, no one can ever know exactly where it's going to go. You know, you can't predict this. Like you might get a few right, but you can't. There's always going to be ones that go against you. So all you can do really is just, based on what you know and the tools and techniques that you have, that you can just narrow down those possibilities. So from, you know, if you have 1,000 possibilities and you've just narrowed it down to say 10, you know, that's all you can do really. So what I'll do is I'll go off the 4 hour and see what we get. See, there's really not much. It's just a progressive move down. We had non-farms yesterday, but it didn't move as much as I'd hope. But yeah, you can use Fibonacci extensions. You can do Fibonacci inversions, kind of techniques that I showed you before. But yeah, again, we get 141. Not a key fib level, but I do use it. So yeah, so I guess for now there's not really much there. Just look at the, going back to the daily, sorry. So yeah, I reckon, so this level here, so you got 111 twos area and possibly 112s, right? So those are levels to watch for potential reversal, for potential test of this trend line here. So keep an eye on that one. We might see, if it does go up above that, then you'll be looking at that level next, right? So you want to keep your stops reasonably close, not too close. Or you can play a more conservative approach, have your stops around there. Or you can look to see if price does actually go back up there and you can get an entry there. It just depends on what you want. So if you're waiting for this one, then there's a chance that you might miss out on this trade if it just goes up and rolls over, okay? But I don't see it going up anytime soon just yet. The euro will come back, just not now, I don't think. But whilst we're on that subject, I might actually go to the weekly and have a look quickly. So it's really good to have a look at the higher time frames once in a while, because they do give you some clues. So I like trend lines as well. So yeah, there's not really much happening here on the weekly. All right, let's go to the New Zealand, and then I'll try and go through these pretty quickly. Don't want to spend too much time on these. Okay, New Zealand. Okay. Okay. All right. So what did we have last week? We had potential trend continuation trade, right? So we were down here somewhere, and I said, well, this looks like a good setup for another move up, and then back down again. So there was some patterns as well. So we'll just go quickly in the lower time frame. So we had two patterns here. These played out as they did. This one played out for the target ones. Didn't get a chance to get the target two. It's all good. This one didn't play out, so we'll just get rid of that. In fact, I'll just delete the whole damn thing. Hold on. But yeah, we did get a really good move. So I'll just go back out to this again, and I'll go. Just draw that trend line, so you can see what's going on. Okay, I'll just close that. That was just that's not a real trade too. That's just a dummy trade. Okay, so we're moving back up. So what I expect to see is some kind of reaction at this level here. Okay, being this is the recent high, I'd expect the reaction before it gets pushed up a bit more. Now this is where you'd look for continuation or reversal. Okay, so as price goes back up to this level here to retest, you're looking to see if it's going to close above or close below, because that's going to determine if it's going to be bullish or bearish, or in trend continuation. So, so let me just do a quick fib extension. Give me a sec. Okay, cool. Alright, so what I've done is just done a few extensions in. So based on this move here, if I do a fib extension, then I'm looking at a potential 161 sell at this level here, which is kind of in line with the recent top. Okay. So expect a reaction around this level. It's going to be kind of choppy a bit, but it won't be a major push straight away above this. This is a key structural level, okay? But based on this, then if we assume that this is going to, eventually going to break through and then make a new high, then you're looking at these levels around here being potential areas that price will go to, okay? Now, I did say, I've mentioned several times that this is a potential good trade. This is the New Zealand dollar, and we're kind of heading towards this kind of structural level here that if it gets tested, we might see a move back and press back down again. And this presents a really, really good opportunity to get short, because I still believe that we're going to have one more big push down, right? And this is for all the currencies pegged to the dollar, so AUDUSD, GBP, USD, EURUSD, and so forth, that we're going to get a major press back down to create new lows, right? So in the case of the New Zealand dollar, we could see, low 50s. But that presents a good opportunity to get in, because I reckon there's going to be one more big push, and there's a lot of strength in the USD soon, and then coming into next year, we're going to start to see some bullish movement into all the currencies against the US dollar. So just be wary of that, be mindful of that. I think the lows aren't going to stay too low for too long, okay? So just to wrap on this one, I just want to say so we're expecting to move up, and I'm expecting some continuation to the upside to at least to test the 7712s first, and then maybe a push back down. I don't know, we won't go that far yet, but either way, if we do get a test of, say, 71773 area, I'd be definitely looking for a short and holding that position too, because I'm looking at another more downside. Alright, we're kind of at that level there, we could see more downside. But that's that. GBP USD. Yeah. Okay, so this one's interesting because I haven't held my nerve, and I didn't want to enter any trades for GBP because I'm still just watching what this is doing. And I think I've mentioned before that we're kind of seeing this kind of like, it's kind of doing this like bearish move, but it's actually building enough energy for a bullish move up, which is interesting. So I just wanted to see how that goes, but I'd have to go into low time frames, but it's very harmonic, very harmonic. You can almost predict the move here. Like you got that down, up, down like this. It's very, very harmonic. Except for this little bit here where it came back up, came back down. But overall, you look at the overall move, it's very harmonic. So we'd assume that price will continue the same. What are we looking for in this instance? What are we looking for price to do before we actually, react? Well, not react, but reconsider. We're waiting to see if this is actually going to go back up and then reverse here. Or is it going to go back up and break this structure level? Because if it breaks this structure level, you're looking at a potential shift in the trend. Okay? Because this is clearly a downtrend, right? Clearly. Right? And we're looking for this. If we're looking for evidence of trend reversal, that's what you're looking for. A break of the structure. And as price does break structure, then you're looking to enter. You're looking to enter the buy up. You don't buy straight away. You wait for the pullback. Okay? Simple. So it's not really that hard. It seems simple here, but when you actually in the real world, it can be tricky because you could be, managing multiple positions, and you kind of lose track of that. But overall, if you just focus on one pair at a time, you'll find it's very simple to pick up these little patterns. So yeah. So that's that. So yeah. So I'll just wait to see how this goes. Or the other thing you can do is it could just continue down. It could reverse back down and continue trend. So you could do this. Right. Both scenarios are very possible. Right. Or it could just stop there and then reverse back down. And if it reverses back down, what are you looking for? Well, you're looking for price to break this again. If it breaks this structure level and keeps on going down, then you know that this is going to be trend continuation, right? It's going to go back down. So what do you do what do you want to do if you want to get involved on the short side? You wait for this to pull back up into some structure level, whether it's here or somewhere else or here, and then sell and then enter the position. Okay, the retest. Or for reversal, you can. This is the other thing you can do. You could, if price came down here, stayed there, reversed, right? Then that is a potential shift in the trend. But again, you don't enter it right away, right? Just because it's done a double bottom. What you do is you wait for the price action to go back down, test the structure level, right, and then reverse. That's the safe way of doing it. Okay. On the daily time frames, that could mean a week or 2 weeks before you actually enter the trade, but that's on the daily. That's on the high time frame, so that's what you should expect. All right, quickly through Euro AUD. Okay, so this one I had a trade in now, got stopped out. So this one's been going kind of against me a little bit. So I did say, yeah, I was waiting for this to go back up to around here. I can't remember why. Just to, oh yeah, sorry, yeah, I know why. Don't worry about it. Yeah. But we did have a pattern here. I'll just kind of go down quickly to see what happened. So it hasn't hit it yet. It's actually not even a valid pattern anymore because it broke the rules. So what I'll do is just delete everything here. All right, so going back to the daily. So we've got. Okay, so what I'd do, I wouldn't consider entering this trade at all until if it goes back down, if it goes back up to around 1547s, right? Then I'd be looking for a potential short, or between 152s to 154s, all right? Probably ideally 154s, just to play it safe, for a potential short with the downside. If you're looking to go long, right, then you want to see price come back down here and retest this level, okay, before it moves up. But that one's a no trade for now. I wouldn't recommend getting into any trades for that one for now. GBP AUD. Okay, so this is a classic trend continuation trade. Okay, so price has gone up, topped out, come back down, created a new structure low, up for new structure, a new higher low. I mean lower high. Okay, and it's gone back down. So what we're expecting, what we're looking for is a level for price to go back down here to create a new lower low. Okay. Now, the reason why I've set this level here is I've just done a simple ABC harmonic move. So I've just drawn from that point to that point, copy and paste this line, paste it here. That's what I expected. You can use other tools, again, Fibonacci's, to confirm that level. Alright. So I get roughly close enough, 161 extension there. I can do an extension from up here and I'll just double check. Then now I've got 141 right on the dot. So I'm looking for price to go back down here before we can potentially see a reversal. Now if I look left, I want to look for structure because that's the key. I don't want to just enter it just because of this ABCD. That's just to help me. I don't use that as a guide, but I don't use that to make any decisions. So I want to see on the lower time frames or anywhere else to see if there's any structure at these levels. That gives me a reason to actually enter, right? Now, I don't see anything there at all that stands out. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to zoom out a bit because this one tends to have, so we're looking at this level here. So that level there is what we're looking for, right? So I might have to actually go up to the weekly to zoom this out a bit more. Hold on. Okay, so if I zoom to the weekly, you do get some structure here. You do get price coming back down, testing this, rebouncing off, come back down, retesting, and then before it breaks through, kind of breaks through, there's a bit of a tug of war here, and then eventually fails and just goes back down. So this is actually a pretty key structure level. I didn't know that. I'm glad I saw that one. So I might have a look at the one in more detail later. But again, you want to, that's what I'll be looking for now. a test of this area here before bounce back up there. Okay, but just be wary of that one because they do move pretty fast. USDJPY. USDJPY. Okay, so we had a few patterns in here. This one's been kind of going for me, not really sometimes. So we had completion of the pattern there. So you would have got target 1, target 2's hit on this I think it's the Gartley pattern, this Gartley pattern. If you entered the trade here too for this cipher pattern, you would have got target 1 and 2's hit, and you probably would have been able to get some extension levels hit. So these two are good. These two are winning trades. The bigger pattern here on the daily is that's going to take time to play out. Like they're on the daily time frame, so naturally they won't take like an hour or two to finish. So you had two winning trades there. This one's still playing out, but you know we'll see how that goes. But again, it's kind of doing this wedge pattern here. This price action is doing this trading within this range like this. So it's getting narrower and narrower, right? It's consolidating before we see some kind of expansion to the upside or downside. So keep an eye on that because that one's tied to US dollars. So if we're going to see a USD spike, we'll see it in the USD yen here. What else is there? USDCAD. Would have been a lot of moves because of oil. Been a lot of fluctuations in oil, and I'll show you that in a minute. But we've got a pattern here that I'm still waiting to play out. Don't know how that's going to go yet, but yeah, USDCAD. Let me go to the 4 hour. So we had a pattern completion on the lower. I have to go down to the 1 hour to show you this one. We had a pattern complete at the. I didn't take this trade by the way. 133. So if you got that, you would have got white targets 1 and 2. Should get targets 1. Target 2 would have been hit here. Target 1 would have been hit around here. Right, but you would have had to deal with all this choppiness here. So it would have taken some balls to actually go through that, but that's okay. That's good. What else is there? What else is there? What other currency pairs? Euro, JPY. I'll just quickly run through them. So this one's trading similar to the Euro USD, but there is a pattern here. I won't do the measurements. I'll just quickly show you what I'm looking at. So there's definitely a bat pattern down at the 88 level. So waiting for price to come back here before we look to enter on the long side. So keep an eye on that. There's also a potential cipher. Actually, there is a potential cipher. Hold on. So I'll just delete this, and then I'll just quickly run. I just want to quickly run through because I haven't seen this potential move yet. Bear with me. Okay, cool. So we might have a valid potential. Keyword being potential. When I say these things, it's potential. We don't know how it's going to play out just yet. Okay. We've got a potential cipher pattern. Okay. So this ties into the whole euro. The third one I was talking about the Euro USD earlier, right? How we were looking for if it to cross over the trend line potentially and then roll back down or not. This is kind of related in some ways because this kind of proves that we might see a euro move early next week to a very high one actually, and then potentially retest it, right? And this is on the daily time frame, so we could see a retest and then come back down again. So this gives me a little bit more evidence that we might see a reaction at this level. Euro USD and Euro JPY obviously not the same thing, but they do trade similar price action. Okay. What else is there? I think. Oh yeah. So okay. All right. That's it for currency pairs for now. I think. Oh yeah. I wanted to show you AUDUSD. Sorry. Yep. That's the important one. All right. So this one's very interesting. We had a big move during the week, which I said we had a lot of data coming out. So we were at this level now, right? Similar to New Zealand. New Zealand's still trailing behind a little bit, but we've kind of reached this level where we're retesting to see if we're going to cross over or we're going to go down. Is this bearish or bullish, right? You can't really tell at this stage. So what you want to look for is, I'd wait for to see what the reaction is from this level. If price does push above, then I'd be looking for some retest, and then we can look for an entry, okay? If it fails and rolls over, then again, same thing, I'll look for a retest and re-entry, okay? This one looks strong though. I think we're going to see price actually go back up to this level. Like I said this about months ago, I said that I'd like to see a retest of this structure level before I look for a long-term short. Because we've been looking, everyone's been talking about 65 cents, 62 cents and all that stuff. But it doesn't just roll over, right? It has to, I have to actually see a test of some structure before it does that. I don't want to just blindly get into the trade and then that's it. So if we, this is looking very likely to hit this level early next week. So if it does, I'd be looking for areas for entry, right? Now, also on top of that, this one I didn't want to show you this last couple of weeks because it was too early to show you. But we might actually see this play out. Don't be surprised. So it's already surprised us by going up to the 73s, high 73s. But we might actually get a potential bat pattern around this level. Maybe, right? Maybe. It's still way off though. It's still got a long way to go before it actually gets there. But it's something that's worth keeping an eye on if it does. Because if it does hit this level, then you've got a guaranteed 100% entry, right? So we've got a bat pattern here that completes at the 88%. So it's not too far-fetched. We might get some kind of rally. So there must be some kind of news coming out of Australia this week that is really positive for the economy, right? When I say positive, I mean it's a short-term positive announcement, like they always do. So what they'll do is they'll come up with some crappy news out of nowhere saying Aussie economy is doing really, really well, we're stronger than ever, blah, 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 and then that's going to spike the Aussie up, and we might get into the trade here, and then it's going to roll over, right? And then everyone's going to be like, well, what's going on? You just said that the Aussie dollar is the Aussie economy is coming back, but this is how the game works. The game works is by technicals. It's all structure based. It's not. The news is just there, but that's why I say don't trade off the news too much. Just listen to it, but don't think that those guys are telling you. Basically, anything they tell you is not in your best interest. Okay. So the other thing also is next week is the US interest rate decision, right? So what this tells me is, let's just say that we do see there is a high possibility we see 77. This tells me already that. Okay, if anything's going to drive the Aussie dollar really high or really high up quickly, or really down very quickly, then there's going to be some kind of major US announcement or Australian announcement. So we know we've got the US interest rate decision next week. Very important day. This is next Friday is, or I think it's Thursday. I think is probably the most important day this year for everyone. Right? It's very important because you don't think so, but it is because. I'll talk about this at the end of the video, but this is the most important day of the year that's going to set the stage for what's going to happen next year, okay? So if we do get an interest rate cut, right, or hold from the US, this is going to potentially spike the Aussie up big time, right? If they raise it, on the other hand, then we could see a sharp reversal, right? So this might go up before the news, and then they might say, okay, we're going to raise interest rates, and it's going to sharply push this down. Or we might just get this progressive slow move here, and then heading into the announcement, they say, well, they're going to cut interest rates instead. Then this might push the Aussie dollar up, and we might get this execution, and then the market will correct itself after that. So there's a few ways there's a few ways of looking at it. That's why you need to know what's going on around the world, because this is going to tell you, right? If it starts consolidating like this, you'll know why. You'll know it's because, well, could there be a potential for rate hike or rate decrease? If there is a rate hike, we could see, that move. But yeah, that's the only one I'm looking at. I'm looking at this level here. So your zone, your trading zone to watch for is this zone here, okay? I know it's pretty big, but that's all I've got for now. You can enter short if it gets here. That's okay. It's not a problem. That's still a good entry, but this bat pattern might be even better. Okay, and pattern's violated if price action goes above this level, then the pattern is no longer valid. Okay, that's why I drew it from here. So that's the Aussie dollar there. Now I want to talk quickly about the IWM, because last time I showed you the monthly chart, right? The IWM is a key market indicator, leading market indicator. So what we're looking for, I was looking at the monthly, okay, and it was really this. I always look at this just to help me see, kind of predict what's going to happen in the S&P and the other stock indexes. So we had this move down, and we had this we had price come back up to this level, and I was telling you that I was looking for a retest of the structure level, right? Because look, this is since 2011, so it's nice. It's got trended up nicely. All of a sudden, we had this break recently, and then it's gone back up to retest. And I said to you that the IWM is usually a good heads up, because it usually gives you an indication as to what the other stock indexes will do, because this is kind of leading the stock indexes, and then you'll see, and then the S&P, it doesn't follow it, but it tends to give you an early indication as to what the stock market is going to do. So what I said that we would like to see the test, we'd like to see it go back up. If it crosses back up and closes above this level, then we're looking at potential for higher stock prices, okay? But if we go back up, test, and then break back down again, then that could be a sign of potential further downside in the market. And this is what we got. So we closed on the monthly just touching the trend line, which is interesting. We didn't close above, we didn't close under. Well, we closed under, but we're still kind of in the bullish pattern, right? So this month is absolutely critical, because if this candle does not close above this level here, then this is definitely going to signal to me that this is going to be continued downside. Okay? So, for those of you who are holding stocks, this is very important. The IWM, it's giving you basically advance notice, okay? And if I do a fib retracement, according to my rules of how I trade the Fibonacci failure trades, this is important, because usually I'd enter on the 50%. 61% is usually where my limit is, but I'll place stops just above here. Okay, so this, for me, this is an entry to go short already, but I don't know yet for sure. I could be wrong, totally wrong. So what you want to look for is cross back up, right? And it has to look at the. It doesn't mean it's going to crash. Okay, this just means that, okay, well, if it doesn't close above, then the next month we might see a candle in January. We might see a candle like this. Right, I'll try and do my best to draw one as close as I can. We might see a candle like this, right? Damn it. Candle like that. And then you might see another candle like this. You know, it just might be consolidated. We don't know. But if it closes like that, then there's a good chance that this candle's not going to be like this, or we might see a big candle like that, right? So we don't know. But if it doesn't close above, I'd be very nervous. Okay, that's usually a continuation to the downside. Now I just want to quickly go to the daily time frame, and we'll just see if we can see a bit more detail. Now we've only just started the month. It's only been a few days, right? So let's see. You know, we've only done 3 days of this month, or a few trading days, so it's still very early. This still looks to me to be, yeah, it's looking bullish-ish. So I'd be monitoring this on the daily to see what it does. All right, I'd like to see this cross above and staying above. But yeah, we don't know yet. We'll see how we go. SPX, so that leaves on to XPS 500. I won't talk about that much because you know. So last week I said we've got, you know, price making. We've got a higher high here. We've got a lower low here, and I was waiting for confirmation of another newer low. Okay, new lower low, and I think we've got that for here. So we've got a structure high, lower low, and we've got another lower low here. Okay, so I'm looking at continued a further downside in the market. So we're looking for price to potentially just reverse and go back down. Now, these are the levels I'd be looking for. Initially, I'd be looking for a retrace back to this kind of level here, this level here. And then this will be the interesting bit. This is where you can't really say for sure where the market's going to go. You just don't know. It's kind of at the point of the fork in the road, basically, the fork in the road. So a decision is going to be made, or some decision is going to be made this week or next week. That's going to drive the direction of the stock market. So we could see a big press back up, or we could see a big press back down. And like I said, you got to look at the IWN. What is the IWN doing, right? What signals is it giving you, right? So that's that. So I won't talk much about that. Aussie ASX 200. Okay, so a few patterns here. I'll just delete. Sorry guys, just give me 1 second. I just want to show you this a bit more clearly. For these kind of videos, I'll do it in black, so it's a lot easier to see. So yeah, so price. I just have to delete the whole thing. There you go. So yeah, so we're doing this. Price action is really respecting this kind of channel here, very respecting it quite a few minutes. So again, Aussie market, we might see some downside, and then again we're at that point of the fork in the road. What decisions are going to be made that are going to influence the stock market? We could see a major push up or a major push down. Okay, but there was a pattern here that I drew before, and I'll just sorry about that. I just had to fix that. There was a pattern here that there's actually quite a few patterns in here, but if we do see a bounce, right? Let me just where was the undo? Hold on. Just let me pause this. All right. So just going back to the last run I had there. So what I did was, so we've got a couple of patterns here that are showing completion around this level here. All right. There was a smaller pattern on the 4 hour. If I go down to 4 hour that completed, the cipher pattern here, it's completed. So it's already hit target 1s. It's probably on its way to target 2. I don't think I've got a trade on here yet, but doesn't matter. So once that's completed, what we're looking for is, like I said, we're in this channel, this little channel line here, right? Now, some news is going to happen this week that's going to influence the market to go up or down, right? Most likely it'll be US data. But if it does break out, right, this is going to be interesting. This is really interesting, this bit here, because what I tend to find with these breakouts is when price breaks out, and usually breaks out in the wrong direction, it will break out to some particular direction and then it will reverse. Right? Now this could be days, weeks, depends on the time frame we're talking about. But in this instance, we're talking about the daily time frame. Well, we could potentially see price actually go back up to this level, this 500 level, before it reverses. So keep an eye on that level. That's a good selling opportunity. But yeah, again, this is all going to be data driven this week, so not much to say there. Alright, US oil. Sorry, it's already 40 minutes. Alright, I entered the trade on oil. I've got a completed Gartley pattern. So I entered that. I got target 1's hit, but then I got a roll. So what happened was I entered there, target 1 got hit, right? Target 2's were there. My stops were down here. So as soon as target 1 got hit, I pushed my stops up. I closed half the position. I rolled my stops up to break even, this level. So what happens is that I'm in a guaranteed break even trade, basically, right? Winning trade so far. If it does go against me and go back down, then it stops me out. At least I've been stopped out for a break even trade, basically. So this is pretty much what happened. So no very small gain on this trade, but I'm not too worried about that. But we could be seeing a potential reversal in oil. All right, so keep an eye on. This is why I said this week is absolutely friggin' important. Everything is converging. Everything is in line to make some kind of move to the upside or downside. Right, we could see oil tank, right, or we could see oil rise dramatically. I wouldn't want to bet on this, but I'm just telling you that this week's important, so keep an eye on it. Gold. Now, gold was very interesting. Now, I was expecting gold to go down. It could still go down, but I don't know. There was some interesting price action that happened on Friday. So if you look at this chart here, you can see clearly, same thing with GBP USD, it's clearly doing this harmonic move down, right? So, which is nothing wrong there, it's all okay. So what we could see here is we had a big rally yesterday, which is surprising to me. We could see a move back up here to these levels, this structure level here, retest before we can resume back down again. Right? That could happen. Or we could see it roll over from here and go back down. Right? The other possibility is that we could see, depending on what the news is this week, we could see a move back up to break this structure level. If it breaks this structure level and continues up, then we're looking at a potential trend reversal. Right? So this week's actually critical for gold as well. Because we've all been saying that gold is going back up, and I'm 100% sure that gold will definitely go back up. Next year is going to be the year for gold. But we're waiting for the evidence. We're not looking at the lower time frames. We're only interested in the higher time frames, the dailies and the 4 hours and so forth. But I did say that we might, if we do roll back down, then it would only be short-lived. We could see a roll back down to this level here, where structure is, and then a push back up very quickly. That's possible, or we could see it roll over like that. So I'd be keeping an eye on this one. I don't like to give you levels. I don't like to give you exact prices in terms of what will happen, because I'm just here to show you some techniques. I'm not here to give you a signal service basically. So I'll tell you what I'm looking at, and I'll give you some rough areas I'm looking at, but I won't give you buy sell prices and all that stuff. That's just not what I'm supposed to. I should be doing anyway. So so keep an eye on gold. What else is there? I think that's it from there. Oh, yeah, one more. Sorry. Treasury bonds, 10-year Treasury bonds. This is important too for you guys. This is on the weekly time frame, but you can already see I've been saying that you've got to watch these levels. We could be seeing a potential reversal in the Treasury bonds, the 10-year Treasury bonds. When Treasuries go up, that potentially means that interest rates will go up at some stage, right? So if it breaks this level here, and this is going to take weeks, months to actually move, right? If it does, then you're looking at potential higher interest rates in the near future. All right, so keep an eye on that, because a lot of you guys have got mortgages, right? So you guys would have got them at what, 2% interest or whatever it was. Can you survive if it goes up to 2.5% or 3%? All right, and I'll talk a little bit more about that later, because there's a lot of things that are happening and people just aren't listening. They're not paying attention. Which I'll kind of explain now. So I'll just pause this quickly and then I'll come back to you. Actually, I'll set up another video. This one's already gone 42 minutes. Okay, cool. Thanks. Yeah, any questions, just email me. Let me know. I'm happy to answer it. Happy to show you. I'll do another one just more on the trading side of things. I didn't get enough time to do that, but I will. Okay? Cheers, guys.